verify it between the two of us, take our little research group of maybe 6 or 10 people and try it within the research group at levels we knew to be active with us. And some of them are a little lighter, some are a little heavier. And then once you get the information, publish it, make it publicly available, and go on to something new. And that's been more or less our philosophy and our procedure of research. So this is kind of the background. In this background, questions you want to ask, we'll be happy, as Ann said, to try to answer them. Don't hesitate to ask a weird question, and we won't hesitate to say that's none of your business. That's fine. Ann, do you want to go on?
Yeah, I suspect that that's a DEA contingent out there. Their assignment was to make enough noise when the Shulgins get out. Yeah, well, there's one thing that Sasha told me long ago, and I think it's very important to keep repeating it, and that is that the experience of expanding your perceptions, your consciousness, of all the things that change when you take one of these drugs. The experience is not in the drug. It's in you. The drug is a key to the door. It's a catalyst. And those of you who've had enough experience in life know that very, very often you can turn on very intensely from something that's not active. If you think it's active. If you present your psyche with a blank sheet of paper, like a brand new substance that's never been tried, you don't know what's going to happen. Your psyche says, whoa, good, you know, this is the blank sheet of paper, and it's time you learn something. I will never forget, I was just helping out Sasha by taking a new level of a brand new substance that he was beginning to work up very slowly. And I was busy with something, and I said, well, you know, there's no reason why I can't take the next step for you. It's not going to be active. We both agreed on that. And save you one of the many steps. You understand the idea of taking a new substance, a very tiny amount, and working it slowly up. Because that's the only way you can become aware of nervous system problems or disequilibriums of any sort. So anyway, I took this stuff, and knowing that, you know, there's no way it could be active at that level. And an hour later, I was launched into what we call about a +2. And I had no idea what was happening or why, but I stopped doing what I had been doing at the beginning of the day, and tried to deal with it. It was not particularly pleasant. But to make a very long story a little shorter, it took a week before I came out of that experience. And by that time, I was beginning to realize it wasn't the drug at all. It was learning time. And this brand new substance, unknown, was the blank page. And my psyche decided this was time for several lessons to be learned. And I think I put that in Tikal, the second book. It was an extraordinary experience. And so anyway, to go back to the idea that the experience, the expansion, the intuitions, the creativity are all within you, not inside any drug. It's just that it's good to have a key to open those doors, and to know that however difficult the passage might be, eventually
No.
Don't be prey to launch right into Pical. It won't bite you.
The question as I get from Ann is the difference between phenethylamines and tryptamines. Phenethylamines are one-ring compounds, benzene ring, with two carbon chains sticking out in that direction, and on the end of which there's an amine group. Sometimes the two carbons sticking out have a third carbon on it, at which point they become amphetamines. So phenethylamines is a two-carbon, and amphetamine is a three-carbon extension from the ring to the amine group. The tryptamines are not a phenethylamine, they are an indole. And the indole itself is a two-ring system, a benzene ring and a five-membered nitrogen ring, and then a two-carbon chain going out to a nitrogen, and usually an amine group. And the amine group may be substituted with alkyl groups or other various substituents. And so the tryptamine area is a two-ring nucleus, two-carbon extension, or three, can be an amphetamine too, and going out to a nitrogen that is substituted. The ring substitutions on the tryptamines are usually on the indole ring itself, on the 5 position or the 4 position. 6 is dull and 7 is totally inactive, but the 5 and 4 are fascinating. And that substitution pattern are called 4 or 5 methoxytryptamines. So these are the two large families, phenethylamines, tryptamines, and variations in these families have been made that are quite extensive, making not a three-carbon chain into a 4-carbon chain, making it down to a 1-carbon chain, taking away the carbons entirely. All these have been explored. Most of them have been dull and uninteresting. The interesting ones are the phenethylamines or the tryptamine 2-carbon amine compounds, and those are the ones that I would say 85% of the compounds mentioned in the Pical pair of books are. You want to go ahead?
Okay, testing.
The white shirt, gentlemen.
This is kind of strange to talk about. Get used to it. Okay. My question is, I've recently returned from Peru. I had the opportunity to do ayahuasca ceremonies. And I'm curious, from your experience and perspective, is there a difference between a synthesized compound that you're able to create and this ethnogenic? Ayahuasca seems to have something special that I haven't experienced with any other substance.
The natural plant, in other words.
The natural plant, yeah. And I understand that all of these are keys to doors, as you just said. It's not the drug, it's me, and this is the key. But I'm curious if you would just speak a little bit about ayahuasca and that type of relationship between what you've been able to create. And maybe I'm curious if you've been able to create something that gives a similar experience as ayahuasca.
I know, but you know what? It's just messed up here.
All right, the ayahuasca is a pair of compounds.
One of the very front.
The ayahuasca itself, I have a chapter in the second book is Huasca versus ayahuasca. The ayahuasca is a different type of compound, and it is itself is intrinsically not, as a rule, not particularly active. But it is destroyed by inhibitors that, in a sense, you can destroy the destruction by giving an inhibitor of the inhibitors. In other words, you take away the availability of chemicals that would destroy the compound and block them from being active, and the result is the actual ayahuasca itself is indeed active. There's a lot of distinctions between natural and synthetic materials. That's another part of this question. Natural materials, I remember one time I had an interesting chance of making faces at Terence McKenna, who was talking at a meeting down near on